Hi, and welcome back to Mooney Eni's Cooking School. Today we are at our oven production and cooking school facility in Healdsburg, California, and we're going to be making a class favorite of ours, chicken under a brick. We're going to start by making a really good seasoning called Aromatic Sea Salt. And Aromatic Sea Salt is super versatile and amazing on chicken under a brick. So it's going to start with sea salt, and we actually sell this here. But you can also probably find it in the store. It's just a fine sea salt. And we're making a pretty big batch. This recipe calls for 2 cups of salt to 1 cup of herbs. So it'll make quite a bit extra. So what we actually like to do is keep it in the freezer and hold it for, fish, steaks. It's delicious on potatoes. It's a very, very versatile seasoning to have on hand. So 2 cups of this salt just goes right into a food processor. And then I've got some garlic cloves here. Everything that goes into this is just aromatic, which is why it's called aromatic sea salt. So I've got the zest of a lemon going in here. And then another one of my favorite parts of this is that you can use pretty much any herbs that you have on hand. Today we have some fresh bay leaf, we've got rosemary and sage, but we've made this with thyme, oregano. You could put parsley in it and it's delicious. So you can really just use what you might have on hand in your fridge at the time. So I'm just going to strip the herbs off of their stem. And you're looking for about a cup of herbs here. It's a 2-to-1 ratio, so with 2 cups of salt, 1 cup of herbs, and with parsley, you can use some of the stems in there. You can use about that much. This is sage. And this combination, this bay leaf and rosemary and sage, I think just pair particularly well with chicken. Oregano would also be great in this too. Okay. And then 2 bay leaves. So about a cup of herbs here. It's going to get thrown right into a food processor. Plan on having your food processor on until everything breaks down really nicely. The color of the sea salt will change and you'll just see it kind of turns into a nice powdery seasoning. And I'll show you what that looks like once it's done. But it's usually about 2 minutes just kept on. Okay. So you can see everything's broken down really nicely and blended together. Now I'm just going to put this out onto a piece of parchment paper. So once this is all out on the parchment, you can see I've got some little specks of lemon zest in here. The herbs are broken down very nicely. And what happens to this salt is that the moisture in those herbs and the lemon zest and garlic actually make this kind of almost like a wet sand texture. So what you actually want to do with a recipe like this, where you're making quite a decent amount of extra salt, is we like to leave it on the counter over a period of about 3 days, 2 days or so. And what happens is the moisture from those herbs and the lemon will actually kind of evaporate off. The salt will almost cure this mixture so that it dries out and makes it able to freeze. So if you were to freeze it at this point, the freezer would kind of collect condensation once you pull it out of the freezer. So give it a couple days to just sit on the counter and evaporate some of that moisture for it to kind of cure. The second this comes out of the food processor, the entire kitchen just smells beautiful, aromatic lemon, herbs, and it's quite nice to have on the kitchen counter for a few days. So we're now ready to prep our chicken to go into the oven. And the first thing I want to do is wrap my brick. So chicken under a brick is quite literally chicken that's cooked under a brick. And the reason it's cooked under a brick is because the weight of the brick presses the skin evenly onto the bottom of the pan, so you get that really nice crispy skin. And it also presses the entire chicken to the same thickness, which means that it will all cook at the same time, rather than the dark meat cooking or taking longer to cook than the breast meat. So I'm just gonna grab some foil here. Lay my brick down onto it, and then just wrap it like a gift. Although you don't need to be as neat as wrapping a gift, but you want it tightly wrapped. And before I season it, I am going to get my pan preheating in the oven. So we've got our oven at around 650 degrees. This is a roasting environment, and we're going to be cooking our chicken in this roasting pan. So like any good sear that you want on meat, the pan needs to be preheated. It's vital for this dish that it is scorching hot before we add the chicken into the pan, because that's what's going to help us achieve that really nice crispy skin and give the chicken a nice head start. So I usually give it about 4 to 5 minutes in the oven to preheat. So I'm gonna get that in the oven right now. So now that our pan's preheating, I'm gonna grab my chicken and we're gonna season with that aromatic sea salt that we just made. So this chicken, like I said, was about 4.5 pounds. It's been deboned, and the only bones that are left in it are the wing bones and the leg bones, or the drumsticks. I've deboned this myself, and there is instruction on how to do it on our recipe, but you can also ask your butcher to just debone it and leave the drumstick and the wings in. So we're gonna go ahead and just season this. I've pulled some of the aromatic sea salt that we just made aside, just because I don't want all this to get chicken on it. And we're just gonna season all over this chicken. And I'm gonna try and get underneath the skin as well. And you can kind of pat it on. So like I said, this is amazing on chicken under a brick, but we use this for everything. I've put it on shrimp before, I've put it on salmon, halibut, pork, steak. It's delicious on vegetables. We've used it on potatoes, it's very good in, asparagus it's really good on. So it's very, very nice to have a big batch of it in your freezer. And since it freezes so well and you don't really use much of it whenever you do use it, it lasts a while. So I'm gonna try and get some of this seasoning underneath the skin. So I'm just gonna loosely kind of pull some of the skin away from the breast meat. I'm gonna get a little bit on the thigh. Same on this side. So just kind of lift some of that skin away from the breast meat. And that'll connect right into the thigh meat for me to put a little bit of the seasoning in there. Now we're gonna flip the opposite side and just do a nice sprinkling all over here. Okay, and now these are ready to go. I'm gonna wash my hands. We're gonna let the pan finish preheating and get the chicken in the oven. All right, pan is preheated and we're ready to get this going. So first things first, I am going to grab some olive oil and just do a small coating of olive oil in the bottom of the pan, just so the chicken doesn't stick, but you don't need a ton because this chicken's gonna render a little bit of fat, so just keep that in mind. Now let that oil heat up for just a second or so. And then I'm actually gonna pull my pan right here so you can see everything, but what we're gonna do is we're gonna make sure that this chicken is skin side down in the pan, and then the brick is gonna go right on top of it. So we're ready to pull that forward. I love that noise. And this brick is large enough to cover this chicken just because it's quite small. And then we're gonna leave it. We're not gonna touch it for the first half of the first side of cooking. The brick's only gonna be on it for the first 10 to 13 minutes or so. So leave it cooking in the oven. I'm gonna add wood as needed. It's 650 degrees in there right now. But one thing I do want to say is halfway through this, I do want to rotate the pan just so that each side of the pan gets even exposure to our fire. We're halfway through, and now it's time to rotate our pan. So this chicken's been cooking for about 12 minutes, and I think we're ready to take the brick off. Okay, so be careful at this part. I just have 2 towels here. Have somewhere to land your brick. The brick's not going to hold a bunch of heat. Just be careful for the sides of the pans. And now, this top section that was underneath the brick needs a second to finish cooking. So we're not flipping this at all. The top heat from the oven will actually finish the cooking of the top of the chicken. So the skin will have direct contact with the pan the entire time this chicken is cooking. So no need to flip. Once the brick comes off, I'm just going to go ahead and put this right back into the oven. And I'm going to add a log here. So just keep note while you're cooking, if your fire looks a little dim, just add a small log onto it and maintain that 650 degrees that you're looking for when you're roasting out of your oven. So our chicken's done. I'm going to pull this out and onto the cutting board to let it rest. And this has just been sizzling so nicely the entire time. I can tell that we're going to have really nice color on the underside of this. Beautiful. Wow. So I'm going to let this rest now. If you cut into a chicken or meat too early, the juices will just all run out onto the board. So I usually give it about 5-10 minutes just for it to kind of cool down and rest, and then we're going to cut into it. So now it's the moment we've all been waiting for. It's time to cut into this. And it's been resting for about 10 minutes, but I just want you to hear how crispy that skin is. And that is because this has been pressed into the pan, and the pan has been in direct contact with the fire brick floor the entire time, so that even surface area hitting the skin the entire duration of cooking makes it so it's just beautifully crispy. And it's one of my favorite things to make out of the oven. So when we make these in class, this is one of our first tastings that we start making roasted items out of the oven. And we always plan on trying to serve this so that people can sit down and eat and enjoy it. This will literally get eaten off the board when you make it for people. It's usually gone as we're cutting it. People will be reaching in and tasting it. It's a great kind of, almost like a snack during our classes. It's so good that you just want to pick it up right off the board and eat it. You can see just how beautiful that is. I love cooking meat out of a wood-fired oven because it's so forgiving on lean meats and proteins like chicken. You get this beautiful crispy skin, this beautiful color on everything, but it doesn't dry out because the wood protects it from drying out as opposed to the dry heat that you get in a gas oven. So look at how juicy that is still. And now we've got our thigh meat here. We just like to garnish with a little squeeze of lemon. And there you have it. Chicken under a brick, a highly requested dish, and one of our favorites to make here at Mooney Eenie. I'm gonna go for a thigh piece, which is always my favorite, and because I like the crispiness right here. It's so good. Enjoy.